Well, another great night here in Seattle as we prepare for the second game of the three-game series between the Mariners and the San Diego Padres as interleague play continues. A rather nice crowd on hand here with the roof closed here tonight because of the elements, and we wish you all a very pleasant good evening. With Mike Blowers, I'm Dave Niehaus, and we're still trying to figure out if the Ken Griffey Jr. pinch hit RBI single on Thursday night was the beginning of something big. Last night was even bigger. Is something else going to be bigger than that tonight? We're wondering. Maybe it was. Maybe it was.
Well, maybe. And you need a little bit of something, some good fortune to come your way, especially when you've been struggling. I think Junior's hit was a big one for this club. We don't know what it's going to amount to, but last night was a pretty good start for the Mariners.
Well, certainly a man who has been big has been Mike Sweeney in the last half dozen games. And what a night he had last night.
Well, last night was a nice night for Mike Sweeney. Ends up with a couple of home runs. This is the first one. The two home runs almost identical to each other. This one goes way back and hits off the scoreboard that you see out there. And then he's going to come up and do it again on a similar pitch, and he hits it almost in the same spot. So Mike was feeling good about himself. In fact, he ended up with 4 hits last night and drove in 6 runs. So the biggest night as far as production goes for any Mariner so far this year.
Absolutely. Came within 1 RBI of his career high. As we look at the pitching matchups tonight for the first time since the end of April, Ian Snell moves back into the rotation.
Well, he does. And Ian Snell, he's going to be somewhere between 80 and 90 pitches in this game, so he'll have to be efficient if he wants to work past the 5th inning. We'll have a look, see what he is. I think he's going to be pretty amped up, though, so the first couple innings will be critical for Ian.
Big Clayton Richard, the southpaw of the University of Michigan, was outstanding as a member of the Chicago White Sox against the Seattle Mariners, and he has had a nice start to a good year.
Off to a great start so far. Has not gone out and given up more than 3 runs so far this year. A pretty good fastball. He'll be around 90, 92 miles an hour. Slider, changeup, and a great move to first base. So he'll try to control the running game with that.
Former backup quarterback at the University of Michigan, but he'll be throwing a baseball here tonight. Good to have you with us on an iffy evening here in Seattle. The Mariners and the San Diego Padres back with more right after this timeout. Mariners baseball on FSN is brought to you by Sterling Savings Bank. By Quest, high-speed internet. Get blazing speeds that won't burn up your wallet. And by your Western Washington Toyota dealers. For over 30 Toyota offers, visit buyatoyota.com. And welcome back to the indoors here tonight with the roof on. Shakespeare was known as the Bard of Avon, and the Mariners have their own bard. And ever since he arrived on the scene, he has been anything but a tragedy, Mike.
No, he's done a really nice job since he's come up. The Mariners looking for some offense anywhere, and Josh Bard, since his recall from AAA, has really done a nice job swinging the bat from both sides of the plate. The other night, a big sacrifice fly, driving in a run, hit his first home run in last night's ball game. So he's been swinging the bat well, stays in the lineup again tonight. But overall, Josh Bard has done a really nice job early. It's early for him, but I think you look for a lift anywhere, and Josh Bard has been able to provide some of that.
That he has, and he has solidified the catching situation as of right now. As we have a look at the Mariners batting order tonight, not gonna fix it if it's not broke, and it wasn't broke last night.
No, it wasn't. And Mike Sweeney last night obviously had a big night and really a good week for Mike. But overall, the manager, if he gets a lineup and it's working, which it has the last couple of nights, why change anything?
So the Mariners and the San Diego Padres one more time on the gloomy night here in the Pacific Northwest, a misty night. We'll have more right after this. Very nice crowd here at Safeco Field tonight as we get set for a little game of this three-game series between the Mariners and the San Diego Padres, with interleague play in full bloom around Major League Baseball this weekend, but only for this weekend, and then everybody gets back into their own league for a while until around the 1st of June, and it'll pick up all over again. The Mariners and the San Diego Padres. Let's look at the lineups, Mike.
For Bud Black and the Padres tonight, leading things off, it'll be Venable, Eckstein, and Gonzalez. Gonzalez with a good night last night. Want to stay away from him. Headley, the veteran stairs, will be the DH. Torrealba, Salazar, Cabrera, and Tony Gwynn Jr. will hit ninth. And the numbers for Ian Snell so far this year: 28 in the third inning pitch, 18 strikeouts, opponent's average over 300. He hasn't started in a while, so he'll be somewhere 80 to 90 pitches for Ian tonight.
Well, he's certainly not unfamiliar with San Diego, coming over from the Pirates, and his first pitch is a nice fastball for a strike. Jim Reynolds, home plate umpire, with that right arm quickly in the air. 0-1 the count on Will Venable. Pretty good sinker at the knees, too. 56 degrees at game time this evening with the roof closed. And a high fastball, can of corn to shallow center field and going out. And making the catch out there is the Mariner shortstop, Josh Wilson.
Let's take a look at our Home Depot doing more on defense. In the outfield will be Bradley, Gutierrez, and Ichiro. Across the infield, Lopez, Wilson just made that catch, and it's Figgins and Kochman on the right side. And doing the catching tonight, Josh Bard.
David Eckstein, what a night he had last night. He had 4 hits and takes a strike, so it's not coming out throwing nothing but strikes. With 20 points on his batting average with that 4 for 5 night last night.
You saw the last swing from Eckstein. A lot of times fastballs into him. He will try to punch it into right field. Saw him do that a couple of times in last night's game.
And a high towering pop-up into foul territory. And Kochman. A little bit of a snow cone there. Casey Kochman has played in 222 consecutive games without making an error. Adrian Gonzalez, what a night he had. He came within 1 double of tying the major league record last night. He had 3 doubles in his first 3 at-bats, then added a single. He also went 4 for 5.
And all of his hits to left field. 3 doubles that Dave was talking about, all of them down the left field line, and then finally hit a base hit in the hole between third and short. They pitched him away, and he hit it away. That first fastball for me is now inside.
And a change on to a little unusual quirk about last night's ballgame. Cliff Lee, first pitcher in club history to give up 8 runs and still be the winning pitcher. That's a long time, 34 years.
That is a long time.
Up and in. So that's the first ball that he's thrown. Not a bad road trip, huh? Padres go right back home after tomorrow afternoon's game. Get back in to National League play against the St. Louis Cardinals. And a ground ball to second. Figgy will throw him out. Adrian Gonzalez, the San Diego Padres, 1-2-3 here very easily by Ian Snell in the first. Good to have you with us. Back with the Mariners' first try right after this.
Lopez, Bradley Kochman, Josh Bard hitting 400 since he's been called up. Will hit 8th, and then Wilson hits 9th.
And that's big Clayton Richard, and his first delivery, a little bit outside ball, one ball on the strikes a couple years ago. While with the Chicago White Sox, he shut out the Mariners, and he's a very, very quick worker. He's missed with his first 2 pitches. He's from Lafayette, Indiana, which is the home of Purdue University, but he matriculated at University of Michigan, where he not only played baseball, but was a backup quarterback for the Wolverines. And that pitch is fouled down the left field line and back into the stands, 2-1. Good size for a quarterback at 6'5", 240 pounds. That's going to be a base hit, I think. That's going to be a base hit, I know now. Ichiro with his 16th infield hit.
Ichiro beating the ball into the ground. Cabrera, the shortstop, doing everything that he can, but without getting a clean exchange. Ichiro's going to beat it out, and actually fortunate that ball didn't hop up and go into the camera well, or Ichiro would be standing at second base.
So our U.S. Marine Corps leaders of the game, we mentioned his 16th infield hit, leading the major leagues. 473rd career infield hit. Richard has a great move to first base.
Yes, he does. And so if the Mariners are going to steal, they're going to have to guess along with him and try to take off on the first movement. You won't be able to read his move.
And it got it picked up just like that. Ichiro being run to second base, the throw to shortstop. Not even going to the bag. He wasn't anywhere near the bag, and he is tagged out by Cabrera.
He has a little hesitation in the move. We heard a lot about it. Talking to Mark Grant, former Padre pitcher, former Mariner pitcher, and he says he has one of the best moves in the league. There's nothing wrong with that, but wow. Really got to stay close to the base tonight while he's in the game.
So Ichiro was easy meat for Richard to pick off, and that's high and outside. So the count of ball and the strike. And that's foul ball.
It's a good idea, I think, with Figgins. He's starting to swing the bat a little bit better. So hopefully his confidence, he's gaining that back in his swing, starting to get some hits. That's a part of his game that we haven't seen a lot of, and I think it's because he's trying to figure things out, swinging the bat. He can certainly help himself with some bunt base hits. That one, if it stayed fair, he would have beat it out.
Clayton Richard 2-0 with a 0.78 ERA in his last 2 starts, both against the San Francisco Giants, and that pitch is swung on, and a nice play at first base, but the late move over there by Clayton Richard, and Sean Figgins beats it out for a base hit.
Clayton Richards gets caught spectating. I don't think he expected Gonzalez to come up with this. He just stands on the mound. Nice play by Gonzalez. A very good fielding first baseman. Figgins able to beat it out for a base hit. So a couple of infield hits for the Mariners so far. Figgy, he sees the pitcher getting off late, and he just outruns him to the bag.
So the Mariners with back-to-back infield hits, but only one still out there. And here is Franklin Gutierrez. On 1. Biggest offensive output of the year last night, 15 runs, 15 hits, and San Diego also had 15 hits last night. There's a ground ball back up the middle. That's into center field. for a base hit. And turning, heading for third, Figgy. The throw third base. He's got to get down. He's safe. Boy, how many times did we see that when he played with the Angels? Going from first to third on a hard hit ball right back up the middle and beat the throw. And that's exactly what he did here.
See how close he right there went with a pretty good throw into third base, but Pickens just outruns it. Watch how aggressive he is. He's not even thinking about stopping. He's going to third the entire way. He's going to make a play. He's able to beat it out.
Good throw by Tony Gwynn, too, but late. And here he is, Mike Sweeney. Last 6 games, 10 for 24 with 5 home runs, 9 RBIs. Had 2 of them last night, and Mike takes the high fastball for a strike. Outfield playing him straight away. Middle of that Padre infield looking for a double play ball. And that's right at the knees to Michael. He's certainly given this ball club a big lift since down in Florida. And he blew him down. A good hard stuff, a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. So now the Mariners can't do it on an out.
3 straight fastballs last night. Mike was able to hit out a couple of breaking balls. It was all over the changeup last night, so they stay hard inside. Not able to catch up to that fastball his first time around.
And Jose Lopez will be the hitter. Breaking ball and a high pop-up into foul territory. Gonzalez drifting over near fair territory, but still on the other side of the line makes the catch to retire the side. So the Mariners try, but come up empty, and after 1, no score. Former Mariner catcher Dan Wilson to join us on our telecast here this evening. Congratulations are in order. A new graduate of the University of Minnesota. Got your sheepskin.
Well, yes, I did. It's a proud moment to walk across the stage and get that accomplished. So thank you, David.
And we're already underway as the first pitch is hit by Headley right on down to the first baseman for the out. One away. And Dan, you'll have to say that Mr. Snell is very impressive here, coming out throwing basically nothing but strikes.
Well, that's what they were hoping for, is a guy that was going to come out here and be aggressive in the strike zone and pitch more to contact than to avoid contact. Looked like he's done that so far, and you know it's paying off. Get some ground balls early and keep that pitch count down.
Here's Matt Stairs. The big Canadian can hit him a ton. If you make a mistake on him, he has yet to hit a home run for the Padres. Starts him off with a breaking ball that's outside. Did you actually go back to Minneapolis to get your degree?
Yeah, I did. I went back a couple weekends ago with Annie and the kids, and they sat in the auditorium and walked across the stage and did the whole pomp and circumstance. It was a lot of fun.
That's fabulous. Did you get to see the new ballpark?
Did not get a chance to tour the new Twins Stadium. The Gophers actually were in town playing Michigan, which was the big rival when I was in school. Right. Jim Abbott was there, and some of the other big leaguers that came out of Michigan at the time, and so we had a chance to go down to the Metrodome. They were actually playing in the Metrodome that weekend, and we got a chance to see the game on Saturday, and that was a lot of fun.
Who won?
Gophers pulled it out in the bottom of the ninth. It was quite a ball game, and a very good game to watch. 5-4 victor. Anytime you beat Michigan, that's a good thing.
And that's going to be out of play. By the way, yesterday the Cardinals losing Brad Penny, their right-hander, after he hit a grand slam home run. He had to leave after only 3 innings, and today put on the disabled list because of the swing when he hit the grand slam home run. I tell you, that's kind of scary, especially for American League pitchers who don't swing the bat all the time. This was a National League pitcher who does. But, you know, an all-out swing like that to tear some muscles in your back, that's a big arm to lose.
That's a huge arm to lose, and you're right. You know, pitchers don't get a whole lot of practice in the cage, and typically when they do, they're squaring around to work on their bunting and a lot less with their hitting. And you're right. As we draw close to interleague here with these games, and it's a little bit of a concern. I know the pitchers love to get out there and take the BP, but it's a bit of a concern for a manager that they don't get hurt in the process.
How many times have you been around a manager that has told the pitcher not to swing? That's where I would be. You know, if he's got a bunt to move the runners up, great. I'll take that chance. But to swing the bat, I'd rather have him just stand up there and not get hurt.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, when you look at the cost of losing a penny, that's an awfully big cost, and you're right. Why risk it?
Well, I think, you know, in the National League, I can see a little bit more because those guys, they must hit more than the American League guys. But these guys, you know, Ian Snell hasn't swung a bat until we're going to start going into the National League ballparks, and it's such a short part of your season. I just don't see the point in risking it as an American League team.
No, that's a great point, and you're right. It's these guys don't get enough practice at it.
I'll tell you another thing that would be of concern to me, being an American League manager going into a National League town and playing National League rules, is if a pitcher does get on, they're base running. They're not used to running the bases.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that's another way you can get hurt just as easily. And
got him. So Matt Stairs becomes strikeout victim number 1, and that is 5 in a row retired by Ian Snell. Youngsters, you can pick up the next installment of the popular Little League poster series tomorrow when the Mariners square off with the Padres. All you kids 14 and under taking home a poster of Mariners second baseman Sean Figgins. For tickets, you can visit Mariners.com. Visiting with Dan Wilson here on this Saturday night Middle game of the 3-game series always, and she a beauty. Look at her. What a doll. A brand new one. Down low, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes to count on your Villarreal is having a heck of a year. Former Mariner catcher.
Dave, a homecoming for you for sorts with Dick Enberg.
Yeah, with Dick here. Yeah. Dick and I were together 11 years, from 66 to 76, both on the Rams and swing and a miss, and the Angels.
A couple of Big Ten guys, too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Dick went to Indiana. I went to Indiana. He also went to Central Michigan. He got his doctorate from, I think, Cal State Northridge. There's Maynard, as I call him.
Is he enjoying it?
Yeah, he really is. I mean, here's a guy that, everything from the Breeders' Cup to the Rose Bowl to Wimbledon he's done it all. And one of the great broadcasters in the history of our business. That's a fair ball down the right field line, and it's going to go into the corner, and Ichiro will dig it out of the corner, and your Villarreal will coast in to second base. Baseball has always been Dick's #1 love, and I said, if you could only do one event, what would it be? And he's done everything. And he said Wimbledon. And he'll be doing Wimbledon again this year, along with the U.S. Open at Forest Hills. And the rest of the time, he's going to be doing baseball. He only lives 15 minutes from Petco Park down there in La Jolla. Yeah. He's quite a character. Out of the three of us, when Drysdale was alive, we had a lot of fun. Didn't have a very good team, but we had a lot of fun. All those strikes. We had Dick on a segment called Voices of the Game. He and I were on it, and he was invited to be on Voices of the Game, which will air tomorrow on radio. And that's down low and outside. I beg your pardon, it's a strike, 1-1. And Dick said, when he came in, he said, I want to Drysdale you. First of all, he says, what do I get for being on the show? And that's right, too. Big deal. What do I get for being on this show? That bounces up to the plate. Kevin Kremen, our producer engineer, handed him 5. Said, this is what you get. Salazar was the designated hitter last night. Pretty good slider. This is a big test here, I think, with 2 outs and a runner at second base for him to start getting over little humps like this.
Absolutely. And, as we see with this offense, as their confidence continues to grow, like you said, this would be a nice hump for him to get over, get that confidence rolling again, and take it on into the middle part of the game.
A little low, full count.
You talk about Josh Bard, too, being up here, fairly new with some of these guys. These guys are trying to feel each other out, and these are the kind of situations when you pull through them together, pitcher and catcher begin to work much more familiar with each other.
Another slider.
I know it's something that you never had to worry about, but with somebody like Josh Bard, a veteran catcher, he's been around a couple of different organizations. It has to be a little bit easier for somebody like that to come into the situation he's come into than maybe a younger guy like an Adam Moore.
Yeah, I think in Josh's case, there's less to prove as far as being here and the right to play in the big leagues. Rob and Adam are still trying to prove themselves that they're at this level and can play at this level. A guy like Josh Bard has proven that. Now it's a matter for him of being able to get to know the pitchers and get into the rhythm of this team, get into the rhythm of the games, and that's his challenge more than the other. So you're right. Josh he knows what to expect up here, and He's been with a few clubs and understands both leagues, and he's a good guy to have back there right now.
Did he go? He did go, according to the first base umpire, and the inning is over. So Bill Wilkie calls him out. And here in the second, nothing doing. Left at second base, you're Vittori Alba. We get set to go to the bottom of the second with Bradley Kochman and Bard Dew up, no score. Well, Daisuke throwing a one-hitter. He was a victim of a one-hitter. Felix Hernandez a couple of years ago. It was a
cold day in Boston.
It was. And Felix stole his show because that was Daisuke's home debut.
Right.
At Fenway. So sounds like he's back. That's good news for Red Sox fans. There's a line drive off the bat of Milton Bradley, but right to Eckstein. Well, first there for Pasco.
Whoa.
Hey, that's...
We got a whole crew here.
Yeah.
I like some of the hats.
It's amazing what people will do to get on television. Casey Kochman is the hitter, and he takes a strike.
Well, it's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Padres currently in a dead heat with the Dodgers in the West. But the one club that San Diego has dominated is right behind both the Padres and the Dodgers. That's the Giants. The Padres have beaten the Giants 7 out of 8 times this year.
It's so important to do well against those teams in your own division,
right.
Dave. And if nothing from a psychological standpoint later in the year, that's going to be huge for San Diego.
Right at the knees. So Kochman called out on strikes. And Josh Bard will be there. One thing we've noticed about Bard since arriving on the scene is how aggressive he is on first pitches. If you throw him fastball, he's all over.
I think sometimes as a group, even a group of hitters, you get into a little bit of a rut and you start feeling for the baseball a little bit, waiting for that perfect pitch because you're concerned about making it out as opposed to getting a hit. And because Josh wasn't a part of any of that, he was called up. It's not just the first pitch. When he decides he's going to turn it loose, he's letting it go, and it's paying off for him here early. But it seems like you get a couple of guys that are willing to do that, and it kind of works its way down the lineup like we've seen the last couple of nights. But I think sometimes, especially when it's been a group up and down the lineup for the most part, you get into those ruts. It just seems stale. You're doing the same thing every day. Alonzo Powell, the new hitting coach, of course. But I think Josh has brought a little bit of fresh air to this club as far as the lineup goes, just by how aggressive he is.
He's down a couple of strikes now. And that's right on the outside corner. So Mr. Richard strikes out 2 of the 3 men to face him here in the second. And the Mariners stay at the plate. It's a short one. We go to the third. No score. This is our AT&T trivia question. In December of '56, Major League owners considered a proposal for interleague play that is almost identical to the one adopted for the '97 season. And which owner made that proposal? Was it A, Bill Veeck, B, Charlie Finley, C, Walter O'Malley, or D, Hank Greenberg? Now, Hank Greenberg, down low and outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. I don't believe was ever a majority leader, owner of a ball club. The other 3 guys were Veeck, Finley, and O'Malley. And that's fouled back, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But I do recall Greenberg trying to get the Angel franchise before Gene Autry got the Angel franchise in '61.
Really?
Yeah. A swing and a miss. So down on strikes is Everett Cabrera.
What happened with that? Cowboy just probably up a little bit more money, or
well,
what?
I guess so. Walter O'Malley, the owner of the Dodgers, probably thought really Gene Autry getting it, because that was his territory. Want to know the count? I'm not really sure. who proposed that. That's into the corner again. And Tony Gwynn will dig for second, and the throw will be cut off. So one out double as Gwynn has his second. Padre hit both of them doubles.
Well, Tony Gwynn has struggled a little bit with the Padres, but he hits this ball right on the button over the glove of Casey Kochman. He can really run, too. That was an easy double for him. We saw him run last night. He can fly.
His dad does several games on Padre television with Dick Enberg and Mark Grant. Of course, the Hall of Famer. And
I don't think it was O'Malley.
No.
No.
Being a Chicago guy, even though I was more a Cubs fan than a White Sox, I'm going to go with Bill Veeck. He was somewhat of a maverick as a
he was
leader of that club.
I think Veeck and Finley are probably the obvious choices. One of those two. So I'll go with Hank Greenberg. How about that?
That's who I'm going to go with.
Hank Greenberg?
Yeah. Somehow Greenberg doesn't fit in there with the other.
Well, I think the first two, I mean, I would agree with Danny that Veeck is probably the most obvious one just because he was such a maverick,
right.
You know. And O'Malley and the Dodgers, that's tradition was a big part of what they did. So I'll go with Hank Greenberg.
Three and 0. Took a little off his fastball that time and got it right at the knees. Where that location was, that is left-handed hitter's delight right there. On the inside corner.
Dave, you mentioned last thing about those little mountains. Here's another one we're presented with here. One out, runner on second. Again, Josh and Ian working together to try to get this punch out. This would be a big punch out right here.
And in the dirt. So down to first base goes Venable, and by the way, a big stop for Josh Bard right there.
Absolutely, keeping that runner at second base. Josh does such a good job behind the dish, and this ball down and in. Typically going that direction is tough, especially with a fastball. He gets that glove down there, and really does some fancy glove work. And you can see his body catching up to it later. His glove was what really saved him there. Some quick hands by Josh.
Who was the Cincinnati catcher when you were there?
Joe Oliver.
Okay.
Joe was a young catcher. He just led the 90 Reds to the World Championship, and he was really a guy that when I first came up was very gracious to me, and you know, sort of took me under his wing in Cincinnati and really helped me out with calling games and the defense that went into it. And he had Lou as a manager for those 3 years in Cincinnati and prepared me for that. And I owe a lot to Joe because he really did help me out quite a bit.
And a high pop-up hit into shallow left field, and the infield fly rule is called as Josh Wilson will go over and make the catch. To my way of thinking, and maybe I'm wrong, for a catcher, if you have a catcher that can hit, it's a bonus. Catcher's job is to catch, handle pitchers, know the hitters, and that's his most important job on the ball club. Hits are a bonus.
No question, Dave. And I know that when I get a chance to work with some minor league catchers, and Roger Hansen down in the minor league stresses this as well. You know, it's defense first, and like you mentioned, getting your pitcher through a ball game or through a tight situation, that's your number one priority. Working with that staff, understanding the personalities and the stuff that goes behind each and every one of those guys, knowing the hitters, how to call a game. Those are your number one priorities. And
High fly ball by Gonzalez to left field and deep, but back there to have room against the wall to make the catch is Milton Bradley to retire the side, and he read that magnificently. He saw it all the way, made the leap although he didn't have to, and makes the catch, and 2 are left for San Diego. Still no score. We are underway here in the bottom of the third as Josh Wilson has taken a strike right down the middle from Clayton Richard.
Question for you, Dan. Oliver played under Lou for 3 years. So when you get traded to Seattle and you have Lou and you're the #1 guy at that point, I happen to be sitting on the bench for a lot of those years. But it was initially the first couple of years when it seemed like every other inning you'd come off the field and Lou would come down and have a nice conversation and wear you out. How many times you call Mr. Oliver and say, how do you handle this guy?
Well, I wish we had cell phones back then, because I would have been having Joe on speed dial. But as iron sharpens iron, so does one man to another, right?
Oh, Daddy.
There's some long nights in the Kingdom.
Yes, sir.
Which is an offensive ballpark, so it made the job even tougher.
Yeah.
Trying to hold the offense back.
There were many nights when the rest of us would sit down and just shake our heads and feel for you. Many nights we sit down there and laugh a little bit too. Sorry, bud.
Well, you guys are always good to pick me up, but
when did that finally end with you and Lou? When he basically stopped getting on you so much because he was pushing you so hard?
Yeah, I think as it was with Lou and everybody, it was all to make you a better player.
Oh, there's no question about that.
Yeah.
And he knew that he had you, and he was just trying to accelerate that process with you.
Absolutely.
But when did that kind of change to where, he stopped questioning you so much and basically trusted you to go do your job?
It
took a while.
It did take a while, and I think that slowly over time, I think after the '95 playoff, after we had been through a playoff situation, I think he began to understand that
we knew what you were doing.
Yeah, we'd been up against some tough competition, and we've been worked through it. And then certainly after '97, we did it again, and it was at that point where he kind of let me alone a little bit.
Well, I asked because, along with that and having those memories, I think about it a lot with Rob Johnson. And then, of course, this year, Adam Moore making the club for the first time out of spring training, and how that dynamic works before any manager, not just Lou, but any manager feels like they can trust that guy.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. And, you know, when you have...
That's a fair ball down the left field line, and that's going to catch the stands down there on his way to second. Have to hustle, get down. The throw gets by the second baseman, Eckstein, and in with a double is Josh Wilson.
Well, Josh gets a fastball inside. He likes to hit the fastball like most hitters. Josh doing a nice job again right down the line. Good try by Headley. See the slide. The ball gets away from the second baseman Eckstein, but not far enough for Josh to go anywhere. So the Mariners have something here.
And Ichiro will try and move him along.
And I think most of the time in this situation with Ichiro, early in the ball game, Don Wakamatsu leaves it up to Ichiro on how he wants to get him over. If he wants to bunt him or try to pull a ball, I doubt that he's just going to give him a straight bunt this early in the game.
In the air and caught. So Headley takes care of that. Give you the band results to the trivia question. The question in 56, Major League owners considered a proposal for interleague play. It's almost identical to the one adopted. That was adopted in 97. Which of these owners made this proposal? And Bill Beck was the popular choice. And Hank Greenberg is the correct answer. Change at the knees. Greenberg joined Vex Indians ownership group after retiring in 47, and then he sold his ownership when Major League owners vetoed his attempt to move the Indians to Minneapolis in 57. Greenberg joined Vex again in 61, and I was right. They pursued the Angels expansion franchise. And it was Walter O'Malley who convinced the owners that would not be wise. And then Gene Autry kind of slipped in there and got the franchise in 61. And that pitch is hit to deep left field, but it's going to be caught out there by Oscar Salazar.
So we were talking about the catching and Rob and Adam. You said 95. That was what, your third year probably with Seattle, right?
Second year, yeah.
Second year? Well, that didn't take any time at all then. Quick as 2 years of your life.
I said it started to get better at that point.
Well, I think Don last year at the end of the year, I think he had a lot of respect for Rob. For one, Rob was able to go out and play hurt a lot. And his job of handling the pitching staff, he's had success doing that.
Absolutely, you know, and Don, being a former catcher, understands what goes into that, and I think different managers, guys that have played different positions. Lou was not a former catcher, you know, Don Wakamatsu is, and he's able to act as a pretty strong mentor for Rob and work with him on calling a game and some of the defense as well. I know they work very hard at that and take a lot of pride in that defense, and Rob's come a long way.
2-0. Wrap-up game tomorrow. Good matchup. Felix Hernandez and Matt Latos. Two young right-handers.
Latos will rush it up there. This fastball will be in the 95-mile-an-hour range.
Mike, you know how it is as a player in the big leagues. All you want is that opportunity, and you need a manager to believe in you enough to give you an opportunity, and Lou was that guy for me, and that's, you know, one of the things that I'll, you know, always be thankful for is just being able to have an opportunity. There were some lean times there with the bat, and he stuck with me, and yeah, there were some tough nights, but at the same time, he's the guy that gave me that opportunity.
Well, I agree with you, and I think in your situation, especially because you were so good defensively, he was willing to wear some of those 0 for 4s that you threw out there for a while. But I think also, in all fairness, and by the way, when we were in Tampa, we saw Lee Healy. He told me to tell you hello. But between Lou and Lee, they worked an awful lot with you offensively and really made you a pretty good hitter by the time you got through with this thing. Because initially, it had to be tough. And to be fair to you, you had so much you had to deal with coming over to a new organization and catching his first.
Yeah, new organization, new league, and, you know, different kind of a style of play over here in the American League.
And that's whacked to deep right field and back near the warning track, almost going back too far. Venable, he leans forward and makes the catch to retire the side. So left at second base, Josh Wilson. We have no score after 3 here tonight.
All right, Angie, thank you very much. Ian Snell throwing a nice ball game here early on here. Joining you with Dan Wilson and Mike Blowers. Boys, this game is the pitching matchup, or the pitching duel we thought we were going to get last night.
It certainly didn't turn out to be a pitcher's duel last night, but you're right, Dave. Ian coming out here, attacking that strike zone and doing what the Mariners hoped he would do coming out here tonight.
One of the things that Don Wakamatsu talked about, he says, listen, go hard. I don't care if it's 3 innings, 5 innings. Go hard. Give me 90 pitches. See what happens.
And I think so far he's done that. You know, you watch him, he's pitched inside enough. His changeup has been very good so far tonight. So, you know, he's gone to that pitch, especially when he's fallen behind or been in a little bit of trouble.
Nice job by Kochman. Snell covering one down. Ball was hit well by Chase Headley. Second time he's grounded out to Kochman.
Ball hit on the button. It's going to hit towards the edge of the grass and come up on Casey a little bit. But he can handle it. He's been a lot of fun to watch over at first base. I can't imagine anybody better than him, although Adrian Gonzalez, the Padres first baseman, pretty good defensive player too. But Casey, seems like he comes up with everything.
He's done an outstanding job. Here's Matt Stairs. Matt with the Phillies a couple of years ago, Game 4, big 2-run homer to win that game for Philly in the National League Championship Series against the Dodgers.
Tell you what I've liked about Ian tonight. He's got a couple guys in scoring position in the last inning, the inning previous, able to get out of it. Last innings, runners at second with 1 out, and he's able to get out of it. So hasn't lost his aggressiveness even with runners in scoring position. That's a good sign.
Well, he'll have to battle Stairs. Last time Matt was up an 11 pitch at bat before it struck out. 2-2. Snell's first start since April 27th. Got a no decision at Kansas City. Matt Stairs didn't cheat himself in that swing, did he? Way out of here. 2-2 pitch. Crushed off the Vegas side. 1-0. San Diego. He does not cheat himself. Mike, you played with him for a bit in Montreal. Wow.
Oh, I did. And this looks like either a hanging changeup or a breaking ball. It's something up in the zone. Take another look at it. Middle in, thigh high.
412 feet. Home run number 260 in his career for Matt Stairs. And that ties, well, it doesn't tie a record, but it adds to his total. He is one shy of tying Cliff Johnson for the all-time pinch hit home run record. That's a pretty typical swing. I mean, he empties the bag every time he's up there.
Hey, you know what you're getting with Matt in there. He's going to come in there. He's going to swing it hard. And he just got a pitch he liked. But he's always a dangerous hitter. And, you know, a guy that you can change speeds off of. But when that ball stays up in the middle of the plate like that, that's when he's going to get you.
Fly ball right field for Ichiro coming in. A couple of steps. 2 outs. Wednesday, make sure you catch the Mariners and Tigers in action right here at the next U.S. Bank Mariners matinee. Special start time, 12:40. We work a little bit early. Come on out. Take in some afternoon baseball. For tickets, visit Mariners.com. Ken Griffey Jr. Retro T-shirt night here at the ballpark. Nice crowd on hand. This is Oscar Salazar, the left fielder. Oscar was the DH last evening. He went 2 for 5, drove in 3 runs. Good change up. Ball at 2 strikes. Mariners in the first inning had a first and third, couldn't convert it into a run, and they had Wilson with the leadoff double in the third and couldn't get him home. Little punch shot that'll get into center field, a base hit. Offensive swing, nets Salazar a base hit. So 4 hits given up by Ian Snell tonight. Next pitch would be number 69. This is Elvis Cabrera, the shortstop, a strikeout victim his first time. Matt Stairs with a big home run. 1-0 San Diego. Here's a drive to the gap, right center field. Gutierrez on his horse. He's there, makes the catch. Matty Stairs with a home run puts San Diego on the board. 1-0 as we go to the home fourth.
Happy birthday.
Many happy returns. Here's Mike Sweeney. Hits it hard. Deep right field. Backing up Venable on the track. He's got room. 1 out. How about Sweeney last night?
Well, you take a look at it. This is both the swings that he put on the ball last night. And look how identical the pitchers are. 2 separate pitchers, but the pitches will be identical and the swings are too. And they both ended up in almost the exact same spot, which is the back of the Padres bullpen. So they tried to throw a couple of slow breaking balls to Mike, and he made him pay for it with a couple of long home runs.
The children of the 60s, all we needed was Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix to accompany that video.
You can see the catcher's target on those was down on both of them, and pitcher just didn't quite get it down low enough. And boy, Mike did a nice job. Got some nice extension on those.
Sticking up for the catchers again. It wasn't the pitch selection, it was the location.
Jose Lopez, a line drive to Gwynn. Catcher's Brotherhood, Local 157, Dan Wilson, chapter chairman. Let's take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Finish up the series with San Diego, day off Monday. Detroit comes to town, then to Anaheim, and then, boy, we get to see those Minnesota Twins. They outlasted Milwaukee today. They had a 6-0 lead, blew it in the 9th. Came on a win, I believe it was in the 12th inning.
Dave, Mike's almost in breach of contract because he at one time was part of the catcher's union as well.
I understand, so that's right.
We might have to get a ruling here on this.
After one day, you guys pulled my card.
We'll have to go to the microfilm. Check that registration. 1-2 to Milton Bradley. Made a nice catch to end the 3rd inning. And he's gone. How about Clayton Richards? Clean inning here in the 4th. He's retired 6 in a row. 1-0 San Diego. All right, Angie, thank you. Tony Gwynn leads off. Max Venable, Will Venable, beg your pardon, and David Eckstein. 9-1-2, little T in center field today. And yesterday you asked, I got an answer for you. Remember he made a catch last night, pulled out a card. It was a defensive game plan and where to position yourself.
Really?
Yeah. Talked to Bud Black. I said, no, Skip, what's up with that? Says he has it. And Venable and the guy, let's say, Denorfia last night. He was checking his card. Here's a slice and drive left field. Milton Bradley fighting the lights, makes the catch.
Well, it takes a lot of pressure off of the coaches to position the guys.
And what we're referring to, folks, last night, Tony Gwynn came in late in the game after Jerry Hairston Jr. got thrown out of the game, and he made little T made a couple of catches. And then Mike saw him pulling something out of his back pocket. There's a drive down the right field line. Foul. It's off the bat of Will Venable. And that's what it was. A little defensive game plan with a position.
It's the card they make it up for every series or something.
Mm-hmm. Will Venable out of Princeton University, degree in anthropology. As Kevin Kremen over on the radio side, we were talking about this. That probably limits some of this conversation in the clubhouse. Study of humanity. Outstanding baseball and basketball player at Princeton for the Tigers. Kikieta is going back. Weren't that many Ivy Leaguers. You get Will Venable, Chris Young. We get the guy that we see all the time with the Oakland A's. The left-hander, reliever.
Oh, yeah, Breslow.
Right.
Brad Osmus still playing?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a few more, not many. 2 outs in the 5th. David Eckstein, 0 for 2. What did he have a night last night? 4 for 5, scored 3 runs. World Series MVP with the Cardinals in 06. He had 8 hits and 4 RBI in that World Series over Detroit. Nice job by Snell. 0-2 line drive just by Lopez. Base hit. Good effort by Lopez. Eckstein with another base hit.
Looked like he tried back-to-back breaking balls. Eckstein hits that one in the middle of the plate. See Lopez just out of his reach. Nice effort.
1-0 San Diego. 4th inning, 1-out home run by Matt Stairs. First home run of the season by Matt, DHing tonight for San Diego. Here's Gonzalez. He's been a terror. He had a drive with 2 men on in the 3rd. It took Milton Bradley all the way to the fence. And then he had a lot of good hitting, smart hitting last night, going 4 for 5. Spent most of the year getting jammed. So he said, you know what, let's use the other side of the field if they're going to give it to me, and he did. 4 for 5, 3 runs, and a run knocked in. All going opposite field.
You can see from those first couple of pitches for me, and good fastballs inside, tying him up. Clearly does not look as comfortable with those pitches. Look at him right on the inside corner. 2 perfect pitches for me. A lot of times we talk about the ball being down. You want to keep it, if you're going to go inside on him, keep it up. A little bit tougher for him to get to that pitch.
Kanekoa Teixeira warming up for the Mariners as Snell preparing to throw his 83rd pitch. We're in the 5th. The young man from Maui. Oh, 0-2 to Gonzalez. Eckstein 4 out of 5 in base stealing. Goes the other way. Bradley right pretty much in his tracks. Well hit. Milton puts it away. That'll do it in the 5th inning as Ian Snell trails by 1. Hammer. 1-0 San Diego. What a contrast from last night. 23 runs, 30 hits, 2 errors, 15 men left on base. The total numbers of these two teams last night. Right now, a run on 9 hits, no errors. And what's that? 3, 5, 7, 8, 9 men left on.
As you go back and review, the Mariners start the game off with 3 hits. Ichiro was picked off after he had a hit, and then Figgins and Gutierrez came up with hits, so they ended up without scoring a run on that. And then their next best chance, Josh Wilson leads off with a double. And he's stranded at second base, never moves out. But other than that, not much for either side.
Not at all. Clayton Richards struck out 4, hasn't walked anybody. Snell 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Right now, the Matt Stairs home run the difference from the 4th inning. Kotzman is retired. 5th strikeout. Clayton Richard. The young man was a backup quarterback at the University of Michigan to Chad Henne, who's now the starter for the Dolphins. Here's Josh Barty. Josh, a strikeout victim his first time. Got caught looking in a 0-2 pitch in the second. Bounces 1 next time. 2 down. Thursday, June 3rd. Call your girlfriends and head out to Girls Night Out at Safeco Field. That's when the Mariners meet the Twins. First 10,000 women, 21 and older, take home a stylish Mariners tote bag. Plus, there'll be manicures, massages, and more at the Comfort Station located on the left field concourse. For tickets, visit mariners.com. Josh Wilson, double down the left field line, his first time up. Bud Black talking to him before the game. Fastball, sinker, works really fast, good slider. In describing Clayton Richard, he wasn't kidding about working fast.
I was talking to Mark Grant about him, and he was saying the same thing. And I said, as fast as Cliff Lee? He goes, faster. You know, I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, man, we're seeing it. He's moving. 2-2.
With those two matchups, they might get through a game in about an hour 40.
Well, you can tell that Mr. Burley had an influence on Clayton Richard when Clayton was with the White Sox.
Yeah, good call.
And there is a surprise. Josh Wilson, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 in a row retired by Clayton Richard. 1-0 Padres. Well, certainly not a wonderful weather day, but we've got good attendance here at the ballpark tonight with the roof covering us. Ian Snell, his night done. First start for him since April 27th. He threw 83 pitches, one mistake hurt.
One mistake, but overall he was very good tonight. Gets Matt Stairs on a breaking ball down in the dirt. His changeup I thought was exceptional tonight. Commanded his fastball, 58 strikes out of the 83 pitches. So for somebody that hasn't been out there in a while, pretty good stuff as you take a look at his line. Just 5 hits, the 1 earned run was the solo home run by Stairs, 3 strikeouts, just 1 walk.
Home run coming on a 2-2 pitch, 1 out in the 4th. Saturday in the park, I think, was the force of the prize. Apologies to Chicago, the musical group. Kenny Coat Teixeira takes over. Chase Headley, Matt Stairs, Yorvi Torrealba, 4, 5, and 6. Coming up here for San Diego. Down the line. Fair ball. Milton Bradley up. Strong throw. Got a chance. No. So Headley leads off with a double.
You look at the swing by Headley, jams him off the label of the bat and just flares it down the left field line. Fair ball, easy double. Nice play by Milton to get it back in, make a strong throw to second base.
Here's Matt Stairs. Homered his last time up. Moves the runner over. Higgins throws out Matt Stairs, 1 down. Traveling outside the Northwest this season, we'll take the Mariners with you. Subscribe to MLB.TV today to see every Mariners game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Mariners.com to order and get more details. MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers with you tonight. Dan Wilson joining us. He'll be back again. 1 out here in the 6th inning with man at scoring position at third base now for San Diego. Here's Torrealba. Played 42 games for the 05 Mariners.
As you would expect, Mariners bring their infield in here in the 6th inning.
Runs at a premium tonight. Richard throwing a nice game. Snell did a nice job through 5, and Teixeira trying to keep him off the board here. Pitch out, nothing doing. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Gets away from Bart. That's trouble, and that's going to get a run. Well, the Mariners have had a miserable time with wild pitches. For the Mariners this season, that is wild pitch number 22.
It'll be a breaking ball in the dirt. Josh trying to keep it in front of him. Ball bounced out in front of home plate. That's a tough one.
2-0 San Diego. And now a 3-1 count to Torrealba. Ball 4. Give you an idea where that 22 wild pitches, where they rank. Starting today, only 2 other teams had more wild pitches in the American League. Toronto with 25, the Angels with 24, Mariners and Detroit with 21.
Take a look at the numbers for Teixeira. ERA just under 4, 16 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, no home runs. And Rick Adair going to make a visit out to the mound.
I had those 22 wild pitches, 8 pass balls, and that ranks rather low. Let's see, 8 pass balls. That is the, let me just double check, it's the most in the American League, plus a couple of catchers, at least 2 catchers interferences against Adam Moore, and 3 total. That was 2 he had in the one game with David Murphy at the addition consecutive at bats back in Texas. Remember being on a team that had those kinds of numbers at this stage of the season, a little bit past the quarter pole?
Not that I can recall. I know there was a little bit of issue the one year I was with the Dodgers, but no.
Oscar Salazar's the hitter, 1 for 2. Swung on down to Lopez. One to off his glove. Everybody's safe. In fact, it's first and third. Torrealba to third base. Wow.
That'll be an error on Sean Figgins. It looks like a good throw. Lopez, take a look at it. Yep, that's just right there. He just missed it. Goes off his glove. And Torrealba heads up, takes off, and ends up making it to third.
Wow. What a turn of events. Figgins' 5th error of the season. Fielder's choice E4. That changes the complexion of the inning.
Denorfia goes into pinch run for Salazar.
Here's Cabrera, the hitter.
In a tight ball game, that can turn out to be a big mistake unless Teixeira can get another ground ball and turn a double play to get out of the inning.
Bunt, and it's a beauty. Safety squeeze. Throw down. The runner's hung up. They got him between. Oh, just didn't see him. Oh! Salazar was in no man's land, hung out to dry.
Well, with Bard, for him, he can see the runner coming home, and then he has to turn around and pick up the play from Kotzman to receive the throw. Take a look at it. Bard will come out. Teixeira makes the play. He's watching the runner. You can see him watch the runner. Now he sees, and then he turns around to get the throw. He assumes the runner's coming into home. Not much he can do about it. Take another look at it. The bunt. Easy play for Teixeira. You can see the runner take off. That's when Bard turns around to pick up the throw. You see this ground ball to second.
So Tony Gwynn grounds out. But the Padres add a run. Wild pitched home. Chase Headley scores. It's 2-0 San Diego. Thank you, Angie. 2-0. San Diego Padres, and Ichiro's going to lead off here in the 6th. And Mike, this marks the 3rd time through the order against Clayton Richard. What do you think the boys have learned here?
Well, I think that they need to be aggressive with him for sure. He's doing a lot of that. First pitch strikes with his fastball. You look at the game so far tonight, he hasn't walked a batter. Definitely around the strike zone. First pitch strikes, 15 out of 19 hitters.
Tired 9 in a row, and he's quickly ahead of Ichiro, 0-2. Let's see, the last man to reach. 3rd inning, leadoff double Josh Wilson. Retired 9 in a row since then. Mariners hit 2 hits in the 1st inning. Stranded. 1 hit in the 3rd. Stranded. He does work quickly. My goodness.
And he throws a lot of strikes. 66 pitches, 50 strikes, just 16 balls so far in the game. He's just given up 4 hits, 6 strikeouts.
1st inning, 3 hits, 2 men left on. Great opportunity there. That was also with Ichiro getting an infield hit, and then he got picked off. A fabulous move by Clayton Richard.
And what makes him tough is his fastball. Saw that last one, 94 miles an hour. He's been around the 92 mile an hour range, so he throws hard enough to keep you honest. And has a pretty good changeup and a nice breaking ball to the left-handers.
Two. Ichiro's worked a full count.
See Torrealba, the catcher, holding that last pitch a little bit longer for Jim Reynolds behind the plate.
Fought off. Ichiro infield hit in the 1st inning. Tried to bunt his way on the 3rd. Popped it up. Caught by the 3rd baseman Hedlund. It's a base hit. Good start to the 6th.
Well, let's see if we can give out some rally cries here, get the guys on the scoreboard, get back in this ball game. I like the little guys. A lot of kids out here today wearing the grippy shirts that were given away before the game. A little bit surprised too. We have Keegan, Kyler, Patrick, and Tyler out at the ball game. There you go, grab them. Plenty of food for you guys.
Don't spill. Do not spill. Pickens goes the other way.
Oh.
Through the glove of Gonzalez. Ichiro making the turn. He'll hold right there. Venable retrieved it. No sense gambling with nobody out to get the first 2 men on.
We'll see how they score. This ball, a little inside-out swing by Pickens, jams him a little bit. Gonzalez, a very good fielding first baseman, can't come up with it. He's right there, just pulls his glove up. Right under his glove, so the Mariners catch a break. Take another look at it.
Gonzalez with his 3rd error of the season. Sets up nicely for the Mariners. First 2 men on, and here comes Gutierrez.
Franklin can handle the bat. He can certainly lay down a bunt if that's what Don Wakamatsu wants him to do. The problem is he's been their best hitter with men in scoring position. Left-hander on the mound. We'll see. Franklin in the game, 1 for 2.
Down low. And straight away. Franklin Gutierrez, 1 for 3. 3 runs scored last night. Strong numbers there. Not one of the strong suits of the Mariners, but he's the best in the ball club. Got your speedy guys on the base paths, and there's a strike. Just change pace. 1-1.
.74 pitches. Yeah, so he's in good shape. Clayton Richard, very efficient tonight.
Nothing doing with Ichiro. Second base, Figgins at first. Two balls, one strike. Gutierrez. Richard, an Indiana boy out of this town of Lafayette. 2-1. Down to Headley. There's one. Eckstein, Gonzalez for two. Ichiro takes third. That is a big double play. Ride and save on Sound Transit's Sounder Train. For more information on schedules and routes, visit soundtransit.org. So they go around the horn. And your fan club.
No. We got to stand in the batter's box. Yeah.
I saw the number 5. You're right. You would have been good. You would have been good. If they don't hold the 5, you're in good shape.
Take a look at the hit zone for Mike Sweeney. We showed you the couple of home runs that he had hit in last night's game. Anything up, in, and down and in, which is where the pitches were last night. Hit him a long ways.
Sweeney represents the tying run. Ichiro's at third. Base hit. There's a run back. 2-1 ball game. Sweeney continues his hot hitting. He's 1 for 3. And in now in his last 7 starts, he's 11 for 27. Jumped on the first pitch.
First pitch fastball. We talked about that. Clayton Richard has been throwing first pitch strikes all night long, and a first pitch fastball to Mike. Jumps all over it and hits a solid line drive into left center field.
Well, that is a great sign. Key now is that you hope whatever regimen he's going through every day will keep that back strong and keep him available on a regular basis. Here's Lopez, a guy the Mariners would dearly love to get on track. 2 for his last 19. Sweeney with that base hit on a 407 clip. One to Lopez. Mariners looking for Lopez to get on track where he was last year. 25 home runs, 96 runs batted in. The pitch. There's a drive left field. Going back, Salazar just shy of the track, on the track, and he makes the catch. Cut the lead in half, though, on the Mike Sweeney RBI. 2-1 ball game. San Diego on top. Some of the snapshots from here at Safeco Field, 28,670 on hand. Middle game of a 3-game set with the Padres as interleague play gets going here in 2010. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, and now Dan Wilson rejoined us. Sean Kelly takes over on the mound.
Numbers for Kelly: 2.63 ERA. Opponent's average is 2.50 against him. 14 strikeouts, 13 2/3 innings.
Top of the order for San Diego. It's Will Venable. Dad Max played parts of 12 seasons in the big leagues. Two and one to Venable. How about the hot hitting, Dan, of Mr. Sweeney, huh?
Well, I tell you what, he got a nice pitch to hit there. I wasn't sure they were going to throw him a strike that at bat, but they did, and he was able to just jump all over that first pitch fastball. I think it was up a little bit and drive it right to center field.
Kelly, the third Mariner pitcher tonight. Time called. Two and two. Venable 0 for 2 with a walk tonight.
Dave, although we are going to L.A. next weekend, there will be baseball at Safeco Field. They have the high school championships here on the 28th and 29th. So if you want to come out and watch 4A and 3A baseball, a lot of the games underway and some winners and losers. Some of them, my neck of the woods, didn't fare too well tonight. Puyallup loses to Shorewood. Kelso beats Rogers. But come on out and watch the high school kids play some baseball this weekend.
Swing and a miss. Bart applies a tag. Down goes Venable. One out here in the 7th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. David Eckstein, 1 for 3. He has a bundle of energy at the plate, isn't he?
Yeah, he does some moving around in that box and a little rocking, a little rolling. But it's all pretty effective, Dave. He gets the job done, seemingly.
Drives one down the line and right on cue. Doubles into the left field corner. Getting it done indeed. 2 hits tonight. Eckstein 4 for 5 last night with 3 runs scored.
See all the movement from Eckstein. Pitch in on him. Pulls his hands inside and hits it down the left field line for a double. That's what makes somebody like that so difficult. Hitting second in the lineup, you're not too worried about him hitting out of the ballpark, but he sprays it all over the place. He can take that same pitch and hit it into right field if he wants to. He's a tough guy to pitch to and a tough guy to defend.
11th double. The only Padre in double figures in that category. Now he gets in trouble. They're going to put Gonzalez on.
Can't say I blame him. Headley's on deck. He is 1 for 3 in the game tonight. He hit a double his last time up in the 6th inning. Rounded out to first base a couple of times.
If they can get him to bounce into a double play. Hit into 5 double plays, and that's a high number on the San Diego ball club. And they think they have their man.
Well, I know this. They didn't want to mess around with the man that they just put on first base. And when you're down by a run, I don't blame them at all.
Well, this is the chess match of baseball right here. I love this kind of stuff where you just need that ground ball right here, Blow, and get you out of the inning and get those bats back up there. And it's a good move.
How is Sean going to go about getting that ground ball?
He needs to work down. He's got to stay down in the zone.
Instead, here's a ball driven deep to right center field. I mean deep, going back, and Goody makes the catch. tagging is Eckstein. He'll get to third, but boy, did Headley put a charge into that. Hit it about 380.
Tried the wrong guy, though, Dave. Stays in the ballpark. Gutierrez is going to run it down. Gives it a good right pitch out over the plate, about belt high. Watch Franklin Gutierrez. It's an easy play for him.
Boy, Mike, we've seen this San Diego club all night just be so aggressive early in the count. First pitch, a lot of first pitch swinging. Sometimes that changes with runners in scoring position, but not these guys. These guys stay aggressive on you, and they just come out swinging, and that ball was almost driven out of the ballpark.
Well, you're right, Danny, and they were doing that last night too. And last night for Cliff Lee, he had his roughest outing last night, but they had guys on base constantly, and Cliff is a guy that likes to pound the strike zone. He's going after it, and we all love that about him. But last night, these guys just kept on hacking away, and they were finding holes.
The other thing, too, guys, to go with that, San Diego, a 244 team batting average inning tonight, but they have a good number, 272 runners in scoring position. They've had a bunch of timely hits. That's why they start today tied with the Dodgers, top the National League West. Dodgers were winners earlier, 6-4 against Detroit to take a half-game lead. Matt Stairs homered in the fourth. First San Diego run. First time Kelly and Stairs going face to face. 1-1. Took something off of that one. That tried to launch.
Looked like Matt ended up getting a slider down and in.
Matt's definitely a guy you can change speeds on below, but typically you want to keep that change of speed down and away from him, or throw it in off his back foot, and that one got in just enough, and he fouled it off the back of his foot.
2-2, 2 out, 2 on. Up high. Sean Kelly, winner in Thursday night's 4-3 win against Toronto. He pitched a scoreless inning in the ninth. Torrealba on deck. What's your call here, Dan?
I like something off speed away from him.
It went away, and it's a punch out. And Matt knew it. So Kelly survives a first and third situation here in the seventh. A heck of a pitch. His second strikeout of the inning. 2-1 San Diego. Mariners' seventh inning stretch is brought to you by the Washington Traffic Safety Commission with a reminder, click it or ticket day and night. Along with Mike Blowers and Dan Wilson, I'm Dave Sims. Mariners looking for a couple of runs here. 2-1, San Diego, home 7th. Milton Bradley will lead it off. Bradley, Kochman, and Bard. 26-year-old left-hander, Clayton Richard. Giving up the only run, that was back in the 6th off the bat of Mike Sweeney. Count evens at 1-1. Bradley lined out to the second baseman and struck out.
Guys, this game's playing more like a stereotypical National League game. A lot of early pitch swinging, a lot of first pitch strikes, and pretty much pitching dominated.
I think it goes back to when you're talking about being aggressive with Richard tonight. You look at his numbers: 84 pitches, 60 strikes, just 24 balls. Dan, I mean, the Mariners, in the one base hit that Sweeney had, first pitch fastball out over the plate, he jumped on it. I would think that these guys are ready to swing now too. You go through the lineup a couple of different times, and sometimes your game plan is to be patient with the pitcher, but at the end of it, he's going to decide on how patient you can be. And tonight, Richard's throwing a lot of strikes.
3-1 to Milton, and he pulled the string there.
He's gotten ahead of a lot of guys. First pitch, first 2 pitches, and that puts you in such a defensive position as a hitter, and that's not where you want to be. And he was able to do that early in the game, but Mariners can turn that around here in the later part of the game.
3-2 to Milton Bradley. That's it off. Three-two again to Milton Bradley. Underhand throw by Richard, 1 out. Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the Thirst Inning. Let's check out the crowd in the Budweiser Thirst Inning and see who's enjoying the game. Ken Griffey Jr. retro t-shirt night. 28,670. Here's Kochman. Boy, his off-speed stuff is really good.
Blue saw a lot of Budweiser there, but no fries. It's good.
No fries.
A scoring change from back in the 6th to take that error off the board from Sean Figgins.
Just for the record, Warren, we gave out the rally prize and we did score a run.
Second bat's coming.
Let's get him going.
1-2 to Kochman, who struck out looking and swinging tonight.
Casey's had some tough at bats. Richard's been able to pound him inside with a good fastball, but his breaking ball been able to put him away with it.
Shortstop Cabrera throws him out, 2 outs. The 11th annual Collector Train Car Night is set for Friday, June 4th. Mariners welcome the Angels to town. First 20,000 fans, they receive a Felix Hernandez high-octane gas car, courtesy of Pepsi. Visit Mariners.com to lock in your seats for Felix Train Night on June 4th. 2 outs, Josh Bard. He's 0 for 2. Over San Diego Padre, Josh last night 2 for 3. 3 runs scored, 3 runs knocked in. With his first Mariner home run. Solidly struck to right field, but Venable's right there. Easy inning for young Clayton Richard. 7 in the books, a 2-1 San Diego lead. Eighth inning action here at Safeco Field. 2-1 San Diego. Yorvi Torrealba leads off, followed by Chris D'Onofrio and Everth Cabrera. Strike one to Torrealba. Got a double down the right field line in the second inning. Flied out the right and walked. Pitch by Sean Kelly, third pitcher tonight. Ian Snell started his first start since April 27th. He got a no decision at Kansas City, went 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, but Matt Stairs homer. 83 pitches, 58 for strikes. Teixeira pitched an inning, gave up a hit and an unearned run. 2-1 San Diego. Kelly's going to take it himself. One out here in the eighth. Take a look at the Suzuki Kizashi game recap. And there you have it. That Stairs home run in the fourth. Wild pitch by Teixeira in the sixth for the second run. And Mike Sweeney, base hit in the sixth. Last 7 games now, Mike on a .407 clip, 11 for 27.
Take a look at the Padres. Runners in scoring position, 6 for 29.
First pitch, D'Onofrio pops it up. Lopez takes over. 2 outs.
They're 0 for 8 tonight with men in scoring position, which means they had 21 opportunities to drive in runs in last night's game. They had a lot of guys on.
That's a lot of work. Two outs here in the eighth inning. Here's Cabrera, the shortstop. 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. He went 1 for 4 last evening. A Rule 5 pickup from Colorado. $255 a year ago for these Padres. Swing and a miss. Good fastball by Kelly. Sean throws a nice eighth inning. Another 1-run game for the Mariners. Wilson, Ichiro, Figgins coming up. Of all time, Dick Enberg, his thoughts on Ken Griffey Jr.
Well, and time will test that, certainly. I mean, he's in the top 5 home runs all time, and it's. I told you earlier that my idol was Ted Williams, and he had a magnificent swing. It was to watch him take batting practice, and it's the same about Junior. It's like going to a recital with a virtuoso pianist. I mean, they just, all the notes are sweet and sound. There's no sour notes. Even when they miss, there's something about a baseball swing, even when a great hitter, a great swing misses, it's still beautiful. And to appreciate that and personify that, you've been very fortunate here in Seattle.
Dick Ginberg, one of the most elegant and eloquent men ever to grace our business. Now with the San Diego Padres, got a great deal. They made him an offer he couldn't refuse, basically, and the ownership down there in San Diego, they're also the president of the club. They're big tennis fans, and they said, hey, go ahead. You want to go over to Wimbledon? Done, because we're coming with it. Want to do the U.S. Open? Done, go with it. And you do about 120 games. Not a bad deal.
I guess when you're him, you tell him what you want to do, right?
Yeah, Dick said he was. We had a great conversation with Dick and Dave Niehaus. Of course, they were teamed calling Angels and Rams action back in the late 60s, early 70s. Josh Wilson swings and misses for tomorrow's Voices of the Game pregame segment on Mariners Radio. About an 8-10 minute conversation with those guys, and it's great. I mean, they've seen so much, it's just unbelievable. And Dick even has his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Well, I think he's right when he talks about Junior and his swing. One of the prettiest swings I've ever seen. I wish we would have followed up and asked him what he thought about Danny's swing when he would swing and miss. What do you think, Dan?
I think mine was more like those sour notes he was talking about.
Josh Wilson 1 for 2. Mike Adams, the new pitcher for San Diego. Well, he throws a lot of arms and legs at you.
Take a look at the numbers for Adams. ERA at 3.93. Opponent's average just 179. 21 strikeouts and 18 in the third. Pretty solid. Giving up 1 home run.
6'5", 190. Corpus Christi, Texas. Lives in Sinton, Texas now. .37 games with the Padres a year ago. No record. And an 0.73 ERA. Well, between these guys and the Tampa starting rotation, he's got half these guys look like they could suit up in NBA uniforms. I mean, all of them are 6'5", 6'8", 6'9". It's unreal.
Yeah, Russell last night, who came in for relief, was throwing 95, and he could play a forward.
Up the end of the bat comebacker. Flick to Gonzalez for the first out. Let's take a look at our Jaguar performer of the game, Clayton Richards, the starter. 26-year-old left-hander for San Diego. Guys, he threw a very fine ball game.
Well, he did, and the key was he worked ahead of hitters all night long. A lot of first pitch strikes. Absolutely painting his fastball, but he could take a little bit off with his changeup, which he was able to do when he was behind in the count. And when you have it all working like he did tonight, it's going to be difficult topping out at 94 miles an hour. Nice changeup, nice breaking ball, Dan. And when you have that combination going, especially working ahead, it's going to be a long night for any hitter.
No question. And, Mike, we saw the Mariners give him a little bit of trouble in the first couple of innings, get a couple guys on in scoring position, and he was able to turn it up a notch in those situations and keep everybody at bay. And you're right, it was a long night for the Mariner hitters.
Ichiro, the hitter. And that's a strike. Ichiro with an infield hit, tried to bunt his way out, popped out to the third baseman, and also singled and scored. That was back in the 6th.
It has to be fun when you're catching a guy and he has the confidence to throw his changeup in a 3-1 counter, to whip the breaking ball up there in the 2-0 count. Just keep the hitters off balance all night, especially when you know he has that 94 in his back pocket.
I'll tell you what, when you can put a finger down with at any count and you have confidence in it, and your pitcher's going to execute that pitch, that's a good feeling. And you're right. When you're behind and you know that hitter's looking fastball and you're able to throw in a little changeup or even a little spinner, like you said, you're going to get a lot of swings and misses, a lot of strikeouts, and get back into the count and be able to do something to get the guy out. So you're right. That's what he was able to do tonight. It reminds you of a guy like Pedro Martinez. You just never knew what was coming because it didn't matter what count you were going to get. He could throw anything.
0-2 to Ichiro. Saw double-barreled action out in the Mariner bullpen. David Artsman, Brandon Lee. Mark Lowe still out with a bad back and leg problems. Look forward to getting him back. 1-2. To center field, Tony Gwynn right there. 2 down. That'll bring up Sean Figgins. 2 outs here in the 8th. Figgins with an infield hit, lined out to left and reached on an error by Gonzalez at first.
They actually changed that to a base hit.
They did change that to a base hit.
2 for 3 on the night.
Helps his numbers. 201. Started the day at 192.
Blow talking about Junior's sweet swing. Had a chance on the batting practice segment earlier today to watch a little BP, and I always marveled at Junior that his swing the other way was so powerful, and he could hit a ball to left center as further than I could. It was my pole field, and saw again in BP today just how he was launching him out to left center. It's just a sweet, sweet swing.
Well, I can remember, and I know that you can too, come out for early batting practice, which when we were teammates at Juniors, he would do that often, especially on the road, and that's what he would do just the entire time. Hit as many balls to left field as he could, and you're right, he would hit them deeper than any of us were trying to pull it as right-handed hitters. Amazing. Wow. Yeah. I don't think people, you look at his swing and it looks so effortless and he makes it look so easy, and throughout his career he's had so much fun playing the game, but I don't think they realize how much work he would put into it, how much he would actually hit. He was out early all the time hitting.
He's in an early group today. I mean, I've seen him the last few days. He hadn't stopped that, I'll tell you. His dig by catcher Turrialba.
I remember Mike after the wrist injury and came back, and one of his first few games back, he hit a home run. I was on second base. He hit a home run to left center. And I remember thinking to myself as I was making that turnaround third, well, he's back and he's ready to go, because as soon as you saw him driving that ball to left center, you knew he was locked in.
Two and two to Figgins.
You know what he said to me when he came back? I think when he ended up hurting himself, he had maybe 5 home runs. It was my best year. And I think when he came back, I think I had 17 or 18 home runs, and we had a little over a month to go. He looked at me and he said, "You better go. I'm going to run you down." And he almost did. he was something. What a great player.
Figgins is running a full count.
Junior hit third using that left field wall, and Edgar hitting fourth using the right field wall. It's fun to watch from night to night.
Yeah, how about the manager on the other side of the field trying to pick your poison out of that group? Good luck.
3-2 to Figgins. Strike 3 call. That'll do it here for the Mariners in the 8th. 1, 2, 3. Mike Adams comes in. That's now 3, 6, 7 in a row retired by San Diego pitching in a 1-run game.
the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
2-1 ball game. San Diego on top as we start the 9th inning. Do you remember the Mariners green jerseys of the 90s? Well, on Saturday, June 5th, Mariners host the Angels in the green jerseys. They're back as we turn back the clock to the 90s. Plus, the first 20,000 fans receive a Mariners cap. So join us for all the fun of the 90s. For tickets, visit Mariners.com. Brendan League takes over. Tony Gwynn is first hitter. Young Mr. Gwynn got a double down the right field line in the 3rd inning. Lined out to left, grounded out to second. Biggins has a good hop.
And the numbers for Brandon. Been working on getting his ERA back down at a 3.91. 16 strikeouts in 23 innings pitched. 8 walks, 242 average against.
Came in and closed it out last night. Gave up a leadoff hit. Then got out of it. No problem. Faced 4 hitters. Top of the order, Will Venable. Mariners run delivered by Mike Sweeney in the 6th. Difference right now to share a wild pitch in the 6th inning. Scored Headley, backhanded by Josh Wilson, 2 down. And I'll bring up David Eckstein, their closer. Heath Bell preparing to come in. He saved 11 games. Bud Black, Longview, Washington. Class act, good guy. Pitched in that Yankees-Royals Pine Tar game. Got another network's been showing a lot on its classic network. Bud said he's getting it on ESPN Classic, and Bud said he was getting emails and texts all the time when that thing's running. Must be on about at least twice a month. Stein's had a great 48 hours. 4 for 5, 3 runs last night. Last 2 at bats, a double and a single. Runners just down a run. Wilson charges. Eckstein's gone. So is the Padres. The Mariners in 1-run games are 5-11. San Diego 7-7. There's a chance to get something done here with Gutierrez, Sweeney, and Lopez coming to the bat. Here at Safeco Field, let's take a look at our Jack in the Box in-game box score. Mike Sweeney delivering again. Over his last 7 starts now, he's hitting .407, 11 for 27. And Mike Sweeney last night, boys, he put on a show.
He did. A couple of breaking balls that he hit out, drove in 6 runs. He's been on a tear really for the last week and a half. 5 home runs over that time for Mike. Tough customer he's got to deal with in the 9th inning today. When you see these slow breaking balls, no doubters, both of them.
Here at Ken Griffey Jr. retro T-shirt. They're waving the shirts here at Safeco Field. Franklin Gutierrez to lead off against Heath Bell. Heath Bell, 11 saves, 3rd in the National League. He had a National League best 42 saves a year ago. It's the 11th 40-save season in franchise history. And how good has Bell been to this point? He's not allowed an earned run over his last 13 outings, and he struck out 21 hitters in his last 15 games. Span of 15 innings. Strike 1.
There are his numbers. 18 innings pitched, 23 strikeouts for him. He's given up 1 home run so far this year. ERA 1.
That's impressive. 1. Gutierrez 0 for 1 against Heath Bell.
That's the number that they need from the Mariners right now to beat Bell is 1 run.
Heath in his 4th year with San Diego. Came up in the Mets organization. He's
done well. Not an easy, probably, transition for him taking over for Trevor Hoffman. He's done well, as you mentioned, over 40 saves last year.
2.71 ERA, 68 games last year.
He's got that arm swing a la Rod Beck, but he throws a little bit harder than Rod did.
2-1. To center field, backing up Gwynn. Just shy of the track. 1 out. Take a quick look at our Quest High Speed pitch, brought to you by Quest High Speed Internet Starters. Clayton Richard at 95 and Ian Snell at 94. Snell gave the Mariners 5 good innings, 5 hits, a run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts in 83 pitches, 58 for strikes. Here's the Mariners' hottest hitter, Mike Sweeney. 1 for 1 against Heath Bell. Pretty good chance Mike won't see that same pitch he saw last time.
No, he's not going to see a slow breaking ball here, but what he will see is a fastball, and Mike probably looking out over the plate. Closers always try to pitch away.
Hammers this one down the line. That's extra bases. Sweeney is on fire. D'Onofrio digs it out. Mike Sweeney with a 1-out double. The tying runs at second base.
Michael Saunders will come out and pitch run for Sweeney. And you're right. Veteran hitter knows he's going to look at a fastball. Bell gets a little bit too much of the plate, but he knows he's going to pitch him away. And Mike, no doubt about it, he was going to get a fastball, hits it hard down into the corner.
How hot is Mike Sweeney's 12 for his last 28. That is outstanding. Pinch runner's Michael Saunders. Sure, he's been warming up. He is a very good runner. Jose Lopez, due and then some, 2 for his last 20. Lopez, good numbers against Bell, 3 for 5. Sweeney now hitting a .428 clip. Bouncing ball up the middle. He's going to be on board. Nicely done. First and third, one out. Winning runs on for Milton Bradley. Hit it just slowly enough. Cabrera couldn't make the play.
Take a look at it. Bounces over the glove of Bell. Cabrera, if he fields it clean, he might have a shot at first. Goes right off his glove. Mariners have some action out with a runner on third, less than 2 outs.
And Tuiasa Sopo comes on the pinch run.
Tell you what, guys, that Cabrera's lucky he didn't kick that ball in the right field, and it came out of his glove, and it was right by his foot, and he was careful to sidestep it because he almost kicked that thing out in right field.
Sort of like Hanley Ramirez kicked that ball last week in Florida. Ball one to Milton Bradley. Bradley lined out to the second baseman, struck out, and bounced back to the pitcher. Milton has had a dramatic moment already with the Mariners. That big 3-run homer against the A's last month.
Saw a picture of the defense for the Padres. The outfielders playing back towards the warning track, trying to keep the ball in front of them.
2-0 to Milton Bradley. Bradley 0 for 2 against Bell, and Bell in big-time hot water here, 9th inning. Mariners down a run. Winning run at first base, Matt Tuiasa Sopo. Bud Black's team trying to win to keep pace with the Dodgers, who also won today. 2-0 to Milton Bradley. Make it 3-0.
We've seen this from Milton already this year. Late in the game on the line. He'll be patient. He's not overly aggressive, which a lot of hitters are. Want to put the ball in play. Milton will wait. Had a big walk the other night when Junior had his big base hit.
3-0 to Bradley. 2 on. There's the strike.
And you can see Milton wasn't happy about it. You can see why from the trace of that pitch, same place as the last 2 pitches.
Like you talked about, Blow, though, that closer trying to stay away from that long ball, make him beat you the other way.
Milton Bradley, switch hitter, his best pop side, his home run side, the left side. Swing, and a foul tip into the glove of Torrealba. 3-2.
And that was the best fastball we've seen from Bell, 95 miles an hour. Right on the outside corner and up. Take a look at the swing by Milton.
Runners at the corners. 1 out. Bell's ready. The 3-2 to Milton Bradley. Struck him out. 2 down.
After falling behind, Bell comes back with a couple of high fastballs. Well, not happy. I don't blame him.
2 outs. And it's up to Casey Kotchman. His first look-see against Heath Bell.
Two strikes, that letter high fastball is tough to lay off of Blow.
Kotchman, first pitch.
The other thing, too, Dan, is with that pitch. From the tracer, it looked like it was a high strike, but it's tough to catch up to with the way the Bell's throwing right now. And he's amped it up. Last couple of fastballs, 95. The last one, 96. It's not only tough to lay off of, but hard to catch up to.
You got it now. 1-0, Ken Griffey Jr. on deck. Won the ball game a couple of nights ago against Toronto. Well, you got Saunders. Tying run at third, Tuiasa Sopo. The winning run at first. 2-0 to Kotchman. 2-1. Big pitch right here. coming up 2-1. Based on what he's seen, what do you think he's coming back with here? Talking about Bell.
I think he's going to stay with his heater. He's going to keep it away a little bit more than that one. That was the first pitch he'd centered on the plate this entire outing so far. Everything else has been way or on the outside corner or beyond.
2-1 pitch, fouled off. The Mariners down to the final strike here, 2-2. Casey Kochman.
Bell's done a good job of not giving in to these Mariner hitters, even though he's had some tough counts. He's really worked the corner. My guess is either going right back out there or he's going to try that letter high fastball again on Kochman.
Kochman 0 for 3 this evening. Bell set. And now he backs off to get deuces wild here. Torrealba. Quick word.
It looked like they had some kind of a disagreement. I think that, you know, this is one of those situations, obviously, with the game on the line. You want to be on the same page out there. And Torrealba just out there to make sure that Bell's got a good reason for what he wants to do.
Well, and how often do you go out there to remind the pitcher, hey, you have a couple of strikes, make sure you throw this thing on the corner or miss off of it, even if they agree on the pitch.
Absolutely.
Bell, bunch of deep breaths. He's ready. 2-1 ball game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 out. The pitch to Kochman. Hit to the shortstop. Cabrera throws across. San Diego wins it 2-1. The Mariners mounted a good threat against one of the best closers in the National League. But the Padres survive and they hold off the Mariners. And this series even at 1-1 with the rubber match coming up tomorrow. Felix Hernandez against Matt Latos. So 2-1 ball game. And right now let's go down to Angie Mentic.